In this video, we'll be going over some review problems for a Chapter 1 test for TransMath4. It will cover basic concepts in Algebra 2. So first, we want to start off with graphing numbers on a number line. So we need to make sure that we have correct spacing and that it is consistent. So I'm just going to go by ones on both of these graphs. 0, 1, 2, 3. Alright, and make sure you keep it consistent to the negative side. Don't quite have enough space over there. -1, -2, -3. Alright, so negative 0.6, that's going to be between 0 and -1. So that's negative 0.6. 7/10 is going to be closer to 1. -3 is going to be right on that line. -5/2 is actually -2.5. -5/2. And 4 is going to be on the line as well. Number 2 is just a little bit more difficult with approximations. We know pi is 3.14. And if we type square root of 3 into a calculator, we will get approximately 1.7. And that's enough to graph it. So let's start out with 3/2. That is 1.5. And pi is 3.14, so here's pi. Square root of 3 is going to be 1.7, so this is 1.5. It's going to be right in there. That is the square root of 3. -2 is right on the dot. And 0.7 is going to be between 0 and 1, 0.7. Alright, identify the properties. So we need to make sure that we know all of our properties and what is happening. Well, I have 7 times 1/7, and I get out 1, which is the multiplicative identity. So if I get out the multiplicative identity, I used my multiplicative inverse. So you multiplied by the reciprocal. You have 7, and then its reciprocal, 7's reciprocal, is 1/7. Alright, and the second one, 3 plus 2 equals 2 plus 3. We do know that this is true, and I told you guys in class we need to think of it as going forwards and backwards, commutative property. Alright, of addition. Commutative property of addition. Okay, number 5, you are planting a vegetable garden. For each type of vegetable you plant, it takes 15 minutes to prepare the soil and 5 minutes to sow the seeds. So that's one time 15 minutes of preparation and then 5 minutes for each seed. So write and simplify an expression to represent the amount of time t. So I need time t. Use V to represent the number of vegetables. Well, 5 minutes times the number of vegetables plus 15 minutes. There we go. There's well, the expression would technically not have time t. So find the amount of time in minutes it takes to plant 12 types. Well, what do we do here? 12 types of vegetables. We substitute 12 in for the V. And we know 5 times 12 is 60, plus 15, and that is 75 minutes. Alright, simplify the expression. So here, you don't need to identify your properties, but you certainly need to use them. So this 4 first, I need to distribute that, and I will get 8x plus 12 minus x, and then you need to combine your like terms. So for 7, you will end up with 7x plus 12. For number 8, you need to distribute in multiple places. So you get 4y minus 8 plus 2y plus 6, and then combine your like terms. 4 plus 2, 6y, and -8 plus 6 is still a -2, or 6 minus 8. And last but certainly not least, 3 cubed is 27. And then we need to follow our order of operations and deal with what's inside of the parentheses first. So I have minus 3, 6 minus 4, which is 27, minus 3 times 6 minus 4 is 2, which is 27 minus 6, which is 21. Alright, moving on to solving equations. We need to isolate our variable, so we need to move everything else away from it and reverse all of the operations. So currently I'm subtracting 4, which means I would like to add 4 to the other side. That is additive inverse there, so you are going to get x equals 24. For 11, we need to combine our like terms, and let's go ahead and subtract 3m to put all our m's together. So I get 1 equals 4m minus 11. I'll add 11 to the other side to move my numbers over there, and have constants on the left. 12 equals 4m. Then I'm currently multiplying by 4, so I need to divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So m equals 12 over 4, which is 3. Number 12 wants us to solve the equation for y. So we need to do that first. I'm going to write some of this work down here. Alright, so I need to move my x over. I'm going to subtract 7x. That becomes 0 on the left side. 2y equals 12 minus 7x. And then I need to divide each side by 2, the entire side. So I need to divide every term by 2 and get y equals 2 divided by 2 is 1. And I'll leave this as 6 minus 7 halves, or you could give me 3.5x. That is fine. Alright, and now they want us to write our equation and then find, well, what is y when x is 4? So I need to substitute 3.5 times 4, and I can convert that back into halves and figure out that that is 14, where I can use my calculator. 6 minus 14 is going to be a negative 8. Y equals negative 8 when x is 4. And it will be a similar process for number 13. Alright, when I'm only dealing with variables, that's going to be an example for 14. So area of a circle is equal to pi multiplied by the square of the radius, pi r squared. Write an equation for the area. Well, there you go. There's an equation. Area equals pi r squared. And then number 15 asks us to use that answer to calculate the area of a semicircle. So a semicircle is going to be exactly half of that. So if I calculate the area of the circle and then divide it by 2 in the very end, I will get the area of a semicircle with the diameter. So if the diameter equals 10, I know that the radius is exactly half of that, so that makes the radius 5 centimeters. Alright, so now I need to plug it in to pi r squared and then divide that by 2 in the very end, and that will give me my area. So that's 25 pi over 2, and you can compute that. It's 12.5 pi, and the directions do specifically say to use 3.14 as pi. So you're going to need to type that into your calculator. 25 times 3.14 divided by 2, or 12.5 times 3.14, and get 39.25 centimeters. It is an area squared. Alright, and that moves us on to second half here. A rectangle is to be constructed with its length 4 times. So we need to definitely be able to write out our word problems. A rectangle is to be constructed with its length. Its length is 4 times the size of its width. 4 times the size of its width. And the area of a rectangle, so here's my rectangle. I know that the area is length times width. Alright, my area is 100 square centimeters. Find the dimensions. Well, I know that length times width is supposed to equal 100. But I can use substitution and substitute 4w in for my length and get 4w squared equals 100. To solve for w, you need to divide by 4. W squared equals 25. And in order to undo something squared, you take the square root. W equals 5. So I know our width is 5 centimeters, which should then make our length, if width is 5 here, 4 times 5 is 20 centimeters. And just to confirm, 5 times 20 will give you your 100 square centimeters. Alright, 17. A bank account earns interest of 2%. 2%, so that is your rate. Alright. Use the formula I equals PRT. What is the total interest earned on $650 after 5 years? So you are looking for the total interest. P is your principal investment, so that is $650, times your rate, which is 2%. You should know that that is 0.02 after 5 years, so that is going to be your time. And you're going to multiply all of those together and get $65. Alright, for 18 through 20, a firefighter begins climbing stairs in a building at the rate of 65 stairs per minute. There are 780 stairs between the first floor and the top floor. How long does it take the firefighter to reach the top floor? So we need to write a verbal model. And it is helpful to go ahead and write out everything that you have number-wise. 65 stairs per minute. And you are wondering how long it's going to take him to climb 800 or 780 stairs. You're looking for time t there. Alright, and so I would say that your verbal model is going to look like that. Use labels to translate the verbal model into an algebraic model. So the verbal model is really writing it out in words, and then it asks you to solve the algebraic model. So I have 65 over 1 minute, which equals 780 over t. And I'm going to cross multiply here and get 65t equals 780. And when I type that into my calculator, I get t equals 12. So that means it's going to take you 12 minutes. T equals 12 minutes. And if it took me 12 minutes and I'm climbing 65 stairs a minute, I could easily check that by doing 12 times 65, and I get 780 total stairs. And that makes sense. Alright, find the mean. Find the mean. What do you do to find the mean or the average? Average. You need to add up all your numbers. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers in my set. So I do want to go ahead and line them up from least to greatest. 9, 11, 9, 11, 22, 25, 22, 25, 36, 38, 36, 43, 43, 46, and 57. Alright, so the average means I'm going to add all of them up and then divide by 10. So I have 9 plus 11 plus 22 plus 25 plus 36 plus 38. I'm going to take a shortcut on the calculator and put 2 times 43 plus 46 plus 57. And that comes out to 330 divided by 10 numbers. That gives me 33. So 21 should be 33. 22, find the median. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Average those two. 36 plus 38 divided by 2 is 37. And find the mode. The only repeating numbers are 43. And the range. The range means I take my lowest and my highest, and I subtract 57 minus 9. And I get 48. 48. And you don't need to worry about drawing a box and whisker plot. Alright, hopefully that was enough review for you guys. If you need to see me early in the morning for extra review, I wouldn't mind that at all. Alright, good luck studying.